And what's happening, guys? Guys, apologies for the very late show this evening. I had a workshop there with college earlier on this afternoon. I went on a little bit over time, and then I went straight into a meeting there with the Patients for Safe Access. And I suppose, guys, if you don't already know, the Patients for Safe Access, they're setting up here in Ireland. It's another group hoping to unite the patients to fight for access for cannabis for patients in Ireland. So go check them out or over on patientsforsafeaccess.com if you haven't already done so. They'll also be holding a conference there in a not too distant future, so there will be an announcement to go with that. But I suppose more importantly, the Patients for Safe Access are endorsing the 32 county protest across the island of Ireland. So guys, if you are a patient out there, if you would like to get involved with the Patients for Safe Access, again, go find our Facebook page, Instagram page. You'll find out more about the group there, and you'll be able to sign up over on our website. We'll be able to keep in contact with you then. But again, guys, on 420, it's just less than 2 weeks away now, and yeah, if you want to hold your own protest or something like that out there, do get in touch, and we'll try to help you out as best as we can, and give you all the information you need on how to hold a protest. Again, as I say, guys, a protest can be as simple as one person just attending with a placard saying, "I'm a patient, I deserve access to cannabis." Simples, you know. So what's happening out there? Guys, I see a few comments coming in. Happy Friday all from Monsieur Fudge. And Miss Always as well as saying hi everybody. And Podge, what's happening, Podge, man, with the super chatties? What a legend, man. Thanks very much for that support. Happy high day all. Like and share, guys. So guys, as Podge says there, don't forget to like and share the stream. Hit that like button, hit the share button, subscribe, follow if you haven't done so already, guys. Let's help grow the audience as I try to encourage more people to grow this plant around the island of Ireland. Who else is out there as well? John, what's happening, John? John was waiting anxiously out there for me since 420. Appreciate your patience there, John. Much appreciated, man. Gary Udes, what's happening, Gary, man? Pleasure to see you out there in the audience again, man. You're becoming a regular of the show now. I'm delighted to have you out there, man. And as I say, I really can't wait to get out there and meet up with you, Gary, so we can partake in the consumption of this fine herb in person. Guys, excuse me, I'm just going to hit my vape there as well. So as I say, guys, I was incredibly busy there today myself with college work. I had a workshop earlier this morning that went on for 2 hours, and then I had a second workshop that went on then later on in the afternoon that went on for nearly 3 hours. So a very productive day, but it meant that I wasn't able to attend to my 420 duties. So what I said I would do this evening, I suppose, would be share with you how I go about creating the show and capturing the news. As you probably are well aware, I report on the the recent news that appears out there in the media, and one of the ways in which I do this is I've set up a Google Alerts account. So basically, you can go on to Google, you can search any topic of news you want, and you can create an alert then for that news topic. You can get daily, you can get weekly, or you can set up custom alerts, like to get an alert whenever you would like. So that's a great way to do this, guys. You can just put into Google cannabis, hit news, and set an alert where you get either daily, weekly, or you can even get hourly alerts and everything like so. It's a good way in which to do it. That's how I've done it. I've a Yahoo account that I set up. I believe there's 8 years of Google Alerts now for just the word cannabis and news. So any bit of news, and it was a daily alert as well. So every night, I set it up at night time as well. So it's funny enough, every night at 1:05 I get an email, and it's a Google alert about cannabis. And when I went about setting up the 420 news, then I set up another account with multiple Google alerts. I've Cannabis Ireland, Cannabis Cork, drugs, Ireland drugs, Cork. Just because I'm Cork, I make no secret of it. Like I do try to get stuff that is more close to home, just because I can relate much more to it with that. So there you go, guys. That is how you yourself out there can keep up with the most latest and relevant news there in relation to cannabis. You can also apply that to scholarly articles then as well, which I've also done, guys. So you can, yeah, John saying I'm giving away the trade secret. Guys, I'm just giving you ways in which you can just stay up to date in this. Like, this isn't a secret at all. This is just how people do things. Like, this was also how I learned this actually was from businesses. This is how people in business like keep up on trends and things like that. So Google Alerts is great for many different things. So I'm not giving away any secrets at all. This is out there. This is known stuff. Um, But yeah, I go from that then, and I scour through the news. I will read the news article. I'll digest it myself. I'll kind of form my own opinions on that, and then I'll deliver it to yourselves. Then afterwards, like you get the digested news from my head to the airways out there, and that's kind of how it happens. So I think I have an old slide here set up. So you should be able to see now. This. No, maybe not. Where's that gone? That should be able to. You should be able to see that now. 1 second now, guys. There we go. Nope, that's not working either. Oh, wait. There you go. Hey. So there you go. This is what a Google alert will look like when it comes back for Cannabis Ireland, which is what this one is set up for. So this was last night's one that came back. And you see there's only two headlines here actually. So sometimes you don't really get it. Sometimes it can be hidden out there under different topics and stuff like that. But here you see the two I got back last night. And we went to one of them there. I'll go into the first one, which is the 20k worth of cannabis and 9,000 worth of cigarettes up in Dublin Airport. So this one involved here, again, you see on the screen here, detector dog Marley. So he helped, and I think I seen that somewhere else actually, that the drug dog Marley helped out sniff out some cannabis. Like, and I think that's kind of funny enough, like in fairness, like you have a dog called Marley and he's sniffing out cannabis, like definitely like trolls out there within the authorities, like, you know, of course, like this dog is definitely named after Bob Marley, like, and what does Bob Marley like to do? He likes to sniff out some cannabis, like, you know, messed up really, like, you know, the sense of humor that these people have out there. But again, 20,000 worth of cannabis found, and this was in County Cork, and 9,000 worth of cigarettes in Dublin Airport. This was this morning as a result of a routine profiling and with the assistance of the detector dog, Marley. So again, like, you can read this article here for yourselves if you want to, guys, but like really all this is a wasted amount of time, like, because while they found this little bit of cannabis here, like, how much got through? Like, really, how much got through? Like, and the waste of time here of the people involved in this, like, that this revenue official could have been out there scouring our mail for actually dangerous goods, you know, bombs, guns. I don't know what else might come through the mail service, but cannabis is not dangerous to anybody. Like, the dog again, like, involved in this, like, the amount of time it was taken to train that dog, that could have been used to train that dog to do multiple other things that actually could have saved some lives. Like, this cannabis here could have been destined for patients. So the dog is not helping anybody. Like, so it amounts to a load of wasted time. So you see the cigarettes here then as well in this. All these drugs, they're going to be sent for analysis. So again, more wasted time by the authorities, more wasted taxpayers' money. It's a fucking joke. Like, it's a never-ending cycle. Like, because even in the next piece of news that comes out of that Google Alerts, it was 80 grand's worth of suspected drugs seized in Dublin. And this was following the search of two premises as part of Operation Tara. Gardaí searched both premises in Annesley Bridge Road area of Dublin 3. Suspected cocaine with a value of 80 grand was found during the operation. A small quantity of cannabis and €2,270 in cash was also discovered. All suspected drugs will be sent for Forensic Science Ireland, and the two men arrested at the scene, aged in their 20s, are currently detained at the Clontarf Garda Station under provisions of the Section 4 of the Criminal Justice Act. So again, like what a little amount of waste of time here. Like 80 grand's worth of cocaine. Like you think like, oh, that's a lot. Like, but it's not really. Like, you know, that's probably about what is it, 2 kilos of cocaine or something like that. Maybe even 1 kilo. I'm not too sure how much cocaine actually is out there at the moment. Like, but it's fucking not a lot anyway. Like, and again in here, like it was part of Operation Tara. Like, numerous Gardaí and multiple agencies kind of involved in this operation. What a waste of time. Like these people could actually be out there looking for rapists, murderers, thieves, like, but no, they're here involved in this, like going after these fictitious criminals, like, because that's exactly what they are. They're made up criminals, like they're mock criminals. Because they are, like, it's like it's a game of cops and robbers that they've made up. Like it's like, oh no, we need more criminals, so it's like cops and drug dealers now, because cops and robbers aren't enough anymore, like, you know. It's crazy. Like we could end this overnight. Our politicians and all of these guys, they could end this overnight, but they benefit from it too much. They really do benefit from it too much. You know, your man Morris Fitzgibbon, or whatever, Fitzpatrick, or I don't know, Quinlivan. Jeez, Morris Quinlivan, that Sinn Féin TD. I keep bringing him up. Sorry for picking on him, like, but he's just stuck in my mind now because of his fucking passionate speech he gave in the Dáil there about the drug dealing that was going on in the area and how Gardaí were doing nothing of it, and it's a failing of the policies, like, and in the current week, that they went out and raided it, and you know, the drug dealers moved on to some other area, and he's praising himself then, like, isn't that great, like, you know? But that's how he benefits off it. He goes into the Dáil, he says something happens out there, there's a raid goes on, like, you know, the drug dealers move to another area, and that's kind of what happens. He doesn't talk about that then, like, all he talks about, oh, the drug dealers are gone from this specific spot. He doesn't talk about the fact that they're just over in another spot now. It's like, you know, it's like, oh man, these people, like, they're just scummy. Like, I just can't help but see them as scummy. Like, so yeah, what's Billy saying? Billy saying the war on drugs and the drug war are two different things. Yeah, that's kind of true as well, I suppose. Depends on how you look at it. What's Batang saying is the birds will be delighted with all of the hemp seeds put around the city this morning. Myself and a buddy are popping seeds every day in the city and public gardens until 4:20. Only €2.50 for a bag. Highly recommend more people doing it, and we make Ireland green. Happy Friday, Martin. I'm certainly a happy man after reading that one anyway. So well done to Batang and to his buddies out there, and to anybody else engaging in the Feed the Birds, Overgrow the Government campaign. We're encouraging people to plant cannabis or to spread hemp seeds, cannabis seeds in public fields, public gardens around the place. I know I have a few places lined up there, but I will be going out planting some more plants. That will be happening tomorrow. And don't forget as well, tomorrow evening, guys, I'm going to get together with Johnny Keenan, or Paradise Paddy, as he now likes to be known, and Graham DeBarra and Stephen Garland. And we're going to have a conversation, and I think there's going to be a few other guests drop in as well throughout the evening. So that'll be happening tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. So keep an eye out for that there if you're not up to much tomorrow evening. We're going to be chatting about the great one, or the great man that he was, Howard Marks. He would be dead now, I believe, 7 years tomorrow. I think he died back in 2014, I believe. I'm going to have a look at that one now, actually, but it's his anniversary anyway tomorrow. Howard Marks, if you don't know who he is, he was a great and wonderful drug smuggler. So we're going to talk all about him tomorrow evening, guys. Howard Marks, he died on 2016, actually, 2016. So he'll be dead 5 years tomorrow. So we're going to have a chat about him anyway, and we'll be joined by other people who would have met him throughout his travels. I have my own story of Howard Marks. I never really got to meet the guy personally. I attended one of his events here. I helped out with the planning and organising of it in some small capacity at that time. But I never really got to meet the guy. But I do have a story about to share that I will share tomorrow night. So I'll hold off on saying any more on that. Do check in tomorrow evening at 7 p.m, guys. We will be streaming YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch as always, guys. So that will be the great and wonderful Howard Marks with Johnny Keenan, with Graham DeBarra and Stephen Garland as the main panel, and we will be joined by other people as well as the evening progresses. Should be a fun one, guys. So do be ready and be ready to blaze up for that one. Some other news out there, guys. There was one piece of news, and I'll finish up on this one, guys, because as I said, I didn't get a whole lot of time to prepare for this one, so I'm not going to bore you actually reading down through pieces because, as I said, I would like to digest them before I would deliver them to you. But this final piece is something that I've been talking about, guys, and I've been talking about this more, like I've mentioned it several times. I've mentioned it in a different capacity. I mentioned it in like a guard getting hurt in when they go into raid a house and they're getting shot. I've been saying that. But here we have like a guard is in hospital after being dragged 100 feet by a car during a drug search in West Cork. And this happened only yesterday evening. And this was involving a female officer as well, like when she was attempting to stop a car and carry out a search of the car. The car sped off, I'd imagine, and it dragged her 100 feet. It's not a small distance. Like, and you can imagine the speed that a car could pick up in the short or in that distance of 100 feet. Like, you know, they could be easily going 40, 50 miles an hour, like depending on the ferocity of the driver behind the wheel. So quite a dangerous situation, no doubt, that we find, or those Gardaí found themselves in yesterday. Again, not to be sexist, but again, it was a female who this happened to. Like, you know, it's a scary one. Like, you know, potentially a mother, or you know, she could have even been pregnant at this stage. Like, and for what? Like, you know, for a drug search like that it was going to amount to finding a bit of cannabis, because that's all they found in the end. Like. We go down through the article there, look, it says a female Garda is in hospital this morning after she was dragged 100 feet by the car during a drug search in West Cork last night. The Garda is believed to have sustained a number of non-life-threatening injuries during the incident in the Skibbereen area. Gardaí from the West Cork division were on patrol in the area when they witnessed a suspected drugs transaction between a man in a car and a pedestrian. A Garda attempted to speak to the driver of the car. The car drove off at and struck a member of An Garda Síochána. The Garda is currently being treated at Cork University Hospital for her injuries, which are not believed to be life-threatening. A Garda lady carried out a search at a nearby property where they seized 5.5 grand of suspected cannabis herb and over 3 grand in cash. A man in his 20s was arrested at the scene and is currently detained at Bandon Garda Station under Section 2 of the Criminal Justice Act. Further searches were conducted in the Skibbereen area by the West Cork Divisional Drugs Unit and the Southern Regional Dogs Unit and the Gardaí Bandon and Skibbereen. So again, a number of Gardaí here, like quite a number of them, and I suppose like one of their members got hurt, like, so they're going to spare no expense here, like. And I'd imagine your man who got arrested, if he was the guy driving the car, like, he probably got a battering up in the Garda station, like, you know, because the Gardaí like to stick up for one another. But as part of the searches, Gardaí sees €600 worth of suspected cannabis and €300 in cash and the car. A man aged in his 30s, so this is probably the guy actually who was driving the car, because they seized the car here in this one. He was arrested and is currently detained at Bandon Garda Station under Section 4 of the Criminal Justice Act. All of the suspected drugs will be sent to the Forensic Science Ireland. Hey, lucky day for the boys up above. Probably be sending the car up there as well. But again, like, you know, these guards, like, I would like to be sympathetic towards them, like, and I suppose I am in certain regards, but I'm also sympathetic towards the guy, or the guy here, because it was 2 guys who were arrested, who drove at the guards and tried to get away, because you're in fear of your life, like. Whether these guards know it or not, like, what they're doing, like, is they're jeopardizing your entire future, like. So to you, in your mind, like, you would believe, like, your future is in jeopardy, like, and you have to protect yourself at all costs. You go into a self-protection mode, and, like, you just drive at the guard. You don't really think, you just act, you just do it, like, and fuck it, like, you know. You believe you're already in trouble. Oh shit, I have a load of cannabis in my car. Like, what did he might have had, like, what did they catch him at? Like a few grand's worth of cannabis. He probably had about an ounce or 2 in the car. It was probably in 50 bags of quarters or something like that. Like, so the dude panicked, like, and that's what happened. Like, he straight up just panicked, like, and he just drove off at the guard, like. And is it worth the life of the guard? Again, I asked that question, like, is it worth the life of the guard? Really, like, you know, our government are making these guys go out there and enforce these failed policies, because they are failed policies. Cannabis is everywhere, cocaine is everywhere, drugs are ubiquitous, they're everywhere. Like, it's not hard to get them. You go online, clickety-clack, like, hit the button, like, order now, and the postman, like, on post, will fucking deliver your drugs to your door tomorrow, like. And we have a Gardaí out there risking their lives for what? Get some young fella, like some 20-year-old or 30-year-old, like behind the wheel of the car, who's going to panic, who's going to freak the fuck out, like when he sees the cops, like, and he has a few ounces in his car. Like, do you know what, that's bollocks, like. It's high time we end this shit, like, because, like, as I say, it's only a matter of time before I'm back here reporting, like, on the loss of life sustained because of the war on drugs, where a guard loses their life because they've been shot at and killed by somebody who was just panicking, and that's all they're doing. They're panicking, like they're panicking, and they're in self-defense mode, you know, self-preservation, like, so at all costs, like, the guard is not their friend, like, you know, and that's it, like, you know, the guard is the enemy, like. This is a war on drugs and a war on drug users, drug dealers. Like, you're not entitled to defend yourself, I suppose, really. Like, are they not expected to defend themselves, like? And really, you see it, like, the guards have their armed units, like, you know, the armed response unit, and they go out and do their raids, like, you know, they kick in doors with guns, like, so they're aware of the credible threat that is there to them, but they pose a bigger threat. They really fucking do. Like, you know, if a guard was to kick in your door with a gun, like, and your biggest crime is you have a bit of cannabis herb, it's like, stop, lights, like, just cop on, like, it's ridiculous, like. So again, like, I hope this guard has a speedy recovery, and I hope this guard maybe joins us in the campaign to end the war on drugs, so that their lives, their job isn't so bloody dangerous, because it needn't be. It really needn't be any more dangerous than what it already is. Rapists, murderers, thieves, you know, all of those other criminals out there who pose a real risk to us, like, you know, they already pose a danger to our Gardaí. Why add to the fire? Like, it needn't be. Like, you know, we can really reduce the burden on the Gardaí, and we can do a lot then to benefit our community. We can help the drug users who are addicted to drugs and are engaged in problematic drug use. We can actually educate young people. We can protect young people by putting age limits. But look, guys, I'm preaching to the choir out there. I imagine you all know this out there. Like, I'd imagine, like, we've over 40 people out there now watching at the moment. Like, it's or almost 40 people. Like, you're probably partial to the message. Like, so I'll spare you the bloody lecture at this stage. I will pack up a bong hit there though. Where's me ball? Oh, there's me ball. So yeah, guys, I see your comments coming in out there, guys. Much appreciated for the comments. And again, guys, I apologize for the kind of the scatteredness of today's show. I didn't get to prepare for it, but I did want to get on to go live with you, just to remind you that there's an event tomorrow evening at 7, where we're going to remember the great and wonderful Howard Marks. The man who imported a lot of hash and drugs into the UK. And yeah, so we're going to talk a lot about him. But here's me bong hit there anyway. John Finnegan is saying that the event on the Canna Clubs last night was very interesting and informative. Well done to all involved. And shout out to the great and wonderful Stephen Garland out there, who organised that with the Irish Canna Clinic. So that was an event where we talked all about the cannabis social clubs. There should be a video uploaded very soon to the Irish Canna Clinic's website. So do check that one out. It was a great event. I really enjoyed it, and I hope to have the ladies that were involved maybe join me on the show in the not too distant future. But before I get them on, I will be talking to Albert Teo, who is a very active activist over there. Like, he's a long time activist involved in setting up cannabis associations over in Spain, and he's been sentenced to a prison sentence now, where he's in an open prison at the moment. So I hope he'll be joining me on the podcast very soon to tell me all about his journey, and maybe educate me as to how we can do this here more effectively as well in Ireland, because we're all European at the end of the day. It's the same fight. They're fighting at the European level now, although they're addressing it at the state level, but they are looking at it at the European level. So it's a very good approach, and I do hope that we can replicate it here. So guys, bottoms up anyway. Oops. What's happening, Ken? Ken saying Sure, what would law enforcement do if there was no prohibition? Half the force be back in the dole. No, but did you remember my interview there with Darren White? They'd be growing their own weed. Like, you know, half of the cops that get laid off, sure, they're just going to set up and start growing cannabis because most of them are probably drug dealers anyway, or involved in the trade in some capacity. So, yeah, like, there you go, man. That's what's going to happen to some of the cops. You'd be going down to a dispensary and you'd be seen behind the fucking counter, like, is the cop that arrested you there a couple of years ago. Podge, what's happening, Podge? Podge says politicians there are stealing probation because they want to get their hands in the cookie jar too, or stalling prohibition. Sorry, yeah, yeah, because they want to get their hands in the cookie jar too. Feed the birds. He says I've a few popping up as well. Yes, delighted to hear more people out there involved in this as well. Guys, I really do look forward to being able to showcase tomorrow's events. Once I get out there and engaging it, it'll be a little bit of civil disobedience again, just showing you what one person can do in a form of protest. Like, you go out there into the city and just engage in a little bit of civil disobedience, break some laws, and feck it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? No one's going to get hurt. Like, that's for sure. Anyway, I can guarantee my actions, no one is going to get hurt, and that's why I have no problem engaging in it. Mr. Nice, the legendary man, and that comes in from John Finnegan. And Bitcoin is power, as well as wanting to remind people as well that his audiobooks are narrated by himself. So Howard Marks narrated his own audiobooks, and Bitcoin is power is recommending people go check them out, and you can get them on half price, I think, up in Audible at the moment. I believe, yeah, that's going on at the moment. Podge Donovan says, can't wait for tomorrow, even happy days. Excuse me. Irish Wanderers saying a bit of pulled pork. Is that your lunch today? Was it? Paul Lefwick, poor car is recovering in the garage. Yeah, some people are more concerned about the car in that incident than they were about the guard. I can understand why people would feel that way, alright, like, but I know I try not to see the guards as the enemy, although I did state a while ago they are the enemy, like, because they're fighting against us. But I'm trying to get them to see us as not being the enemy. I already, like, I can see them as not being the enemy, although I see how they're a danger to us. But they're not really our enemy. Like, we need to get them on as our ally. I don't think it's going to be possible, really. But fuck it, like, I'm not going to start shouting at a guard and being mean and nasty to him. Like, I'm just going to kill him with kindness. That's how I see things anyway. That's my ambition. Kill him with kindness. Irish Wanderer, he says, oh shit, was a Vanguard, my bad, that's wrong. Bitcoin is power. People make impulsive decisions when pushed into a corner. A drugs charge is nothing compared to assaulting a uniform. Stay cool out there. Yeah, that's it. Like, at the time when the person is panicked, like, you hit that panic state, like fight or flight. Like, it's like you don't think logically, you don't act rationally, you're just impulsive. And you can see how that incident then can arise. And again, like, as I say, like, that guy had a car. Imagine if that guy acted that way and he had a gun and he acted that way, and you're just like, oh fuck, oh shit, that guard is dead now. Do you know what I mean? From a split decision, from a split instance decision, like, and under impulse, like, the guy didn't think about it at all. Like, he was reacting, he was protecting himself, like, although what he was doing was a criminal behavior. Like, can we argue that the morality of it, like, is it really wrong? Like, somebody has to sell drugs, like. Padre Donovan saying, well, that's West Cork fucked for the weekend. Yeah, the guard's going to be out storming the place, man. They're going to be pretty pissed off maybe at the old drug users out there anyway. Especially the cannabis consumers anyway, guys. They're going to be fucking hunting for you bad, I'd say, down in West Cork. Watch your backs. Billy Burndred is saying, be no problem if it was alcohol that kills. Yeah, it is no problem that alcohol kills. It kills lots of people every year, and we're not making it illegal. And I would never call for it to be made illegal because we've seen the results of that before. Adam O'Brien, what's happening, Adam? What are we getting in weight for €50 these days, lads? 3.5G with a question mark. I would hope people are getting at least minimum 3.5G. I hope we can get to a day where we're seeing, like, maybe €10 a gram and even €5 a gram, because that's the average in Spain, guys. You know, Spain is only over the road. Now they do have a better outdoor growing climate, I suppose, than Ireland, but still, we could get it to that level. If we just work together, like if we get these associations, cooperatives going, we can certainly achieve €5 a gram for cannabis, and I think we could get it cheaper than that as well. But that would need the ending of prohibition then at that point. Irish Wanderer saying 2 grams for 50 quid, 1 gram for 25 here in Waterford area. Oh man, what a heartbreaker. So bad, like really, like, you know, if that's what you're paying, lads, like just grow your own, like really, like just don't be victimized by these fucking, I don't know, man, I don't know what to call them, like the guys selling 2 gram 50 bags like scumbags. They are, like they're just ripping you off, like. But they're probably not making much more money themselves. Like they're probably paying like 400 quid for their ounce, like because they're probably buying it by the ounce. And do you know what? The whole supply is just a mess, man. The whole of supply is just a mess. The best thing anybody can do for themselves is just grow your own, guys. Go over to Percy's grow room and find out all about how you can grow your own cannabis at home yourselves for nothing. Like I was talking to Greenbird and he was on about like he produced a crop where he was producing it for, I don't know, did he say 20 cent a gram or 50 cent a gram? That's how much he cost him, 20 or 50 cent a gram. From seed to finish, like the entire grow, like when he worked out the cost of the electricity, the nutrients, and all of that stuff, it was like 20 or 30 cent a gram he produced it for. Now he's doing it a bit of time. He has a bit of experience there, like, but still, that's the potential, guys. Like you're never getting that out there on the street. Like you're never going to be able to get 20, 30 cent a gram for your cannabis. Like, so guys, grow your own cannabis, like, or if you can't, like work with somebody who can and support them. Form your little circle, get your association going. Get the paperwork in line. Like that's the most important thing if you do this, like, is have paperwork in line to show that what you're doing is a not-for-profit enterprise, that what you're doing is about harm reduction, it's a protest, it's about protecting yourself, self-defense. Like this is what we're doing again, like self-defense. Everybody's entitled to defend themselves and to feel safe, so that's what we're doing. So make sure you have the paperwork there to do that. And Podge, man, you're a legend there for the extra super chat. He says, come have a look at Percy's home grow. Yeah, exactly. Percy's grow home, you say, is it? Percy's grow home? Yeah, but there you go, guys. Go have a look at the Percy's Grow Forum. Like it's an amazing spot. You learn everything you need to know about growing cannabis over there. I see somebody out there is hungry as well. They're saying feed me. I'll feed you soon, don't worry. Darren T, 4 grams for 50 quid in my area. Happy days, man. That's good to hear. That's nice, man. Is that just an exclusive offer though? I wouldn't imagine that's the norm for people. But man, that's good to hear. That's at least you're getting looked after anyway. Good event on Monday evening also, and that was the event by the UCC SSDP. That's the UCC Students for Sensible Drugs policy, for the people who don't know, which I'm also a member of. I'm on the committee of the UCC SSDP, and they also have another great event coming up this Monday evening as well, the 12th, which is going to feature a number of politicians. I'm just going to double check that one now that it is this Monday. They have their event over on Instagram, and you'll find them on Facebook also. But that's the UCC SSDP. I'm just going to pop them up on screen there for you now, guys, so you can see what I see. So boom, there's the UCC SSDP Instagram's page. And this is a panel discussion on the 12th, yeah, so it's this coming Monday evening at 6 p.m, guys, so put that in your diary if you haven't done so already. And it's going to feature the Fine Gael local Cork representative here, TD Cullen Burke. It's also going to feature the Fianna Fáil representative James Loylis. It's also going to feature Labour Minister Aidan O'Riordan. I believe he's a minister in the Shannon now. I don't know, is he a TD anymore? I think he could be a TD. Can't remember, sorry for not being too up to date in my politics there. Apologies. And this guy needs no introduction here on this page anyway, I would imagine, but he is none other than Gino Kenny, People Before Profit. And then finally, you have independent MEP Luke Ming Flanagan, also a man who probably needs no introduction here with this audience, but it seems that'll be a great discussion. They're finding out what exactly these parties stand for about all things drug policy. So again, guys, just to remind you, Monday evening, 6 p.m. Put it in your diary, guys. Don't forget this one. It should be a great one. I really do look forward to this, and you will be able to submit questions before the event to the guys at the UCC SSDP. And also, as the event unrolls, there will be probably time for some questions at the end as well. So again, amazing work there by the guys at the UCC SSDP. I had nothing to do with the organising of this event. That was done by one or two of the other members of the committee. So bula bus to them. You know who you are. Guys, message the guys at the UCC SSDP as well if you want a link to this. I don't have the link myself at the moment, but you can get a link off the guys there at UCC SSDP through any of their social media. Just drop them a message and they'll get back to you in no time. They do monitor their pages pretty actively. So that should be a really good event. I really do look forward to that, guys. So that's this coming Monday. Let's go back to let's get back to the comments out there, guys, and I'll start signing off there in maybe about 5 minutes. I might get another old bong hit into me there before we go. You turn into a ghost when you exhale that bong. I should bring that with me for when the cops are nearby. Just disappear when the cops, leave them in a cloud of smoke. Matty thought, he says, I come from an Easter EU country. Now if they're smell only. Jared Kelly, how about if you're bothering people for a 50 bag designed to not jump in front of a car? Yeah, well, there you go, man. That's kind of true too. Like, you have to wonder who's at fault in that incident. Like, did the cop throw themselves out in front of the car? Like, is that how the cop is the cop like fucking thinking that they're, I don't know, in the movie, like, part of Die Hard, or what was that other one, like Die Hard would have been, yeah, Die Hard, and Lethal Weapon. That was the movie I'm trying to think of. Lethal fucking Weapon. Did she think she was one of the boys out of Lethal Weapon jumping up in the bonnet of the car? Stop! I must catch you with your cannabis. It is imperative I catch you with your cannabis. You have to wonder, like, I would love to have seen that unfolding actually. Like, if you're out there, if you're the guy involved in that, like, let me know what went on. Did a cop attack your car? Did she scratch your bonnet, man? Alright, all jokes aside, as I say, I hope that cop is good. And Mr. Always, what's happening out there? Mr. Always super chatted and he says evergreen.ie for cheap hemp seeds. So there you go, guys. Evergreen.ie if you want to get some cheap hemp seeds. I believe Mr. Always says you can get a pack of hemp seeds over there for like as little as €2 or €3 for 250 grams of hemp seeds. That's quite an amount of hemp seeds. I think that's about 1,000 or so hemp seeds, maybe more. John Finnegan is saying here, if the Garda had died, it would have been a vehicular manslaughter charge instead of a drugs charge. It's true, man. It would have escalated the things worse. But I wonder, would the narrative ever have been picked up? Was that life worth losing? Is it worth losing the life of another cop fighting this war on drugs? And I bet you they would have never have uttered that. Do you know what they would have called for? More money. We need more money in our budgets to protect our Gardaí because our Gardaí need more protection. They need more laws there to keep us in our place and to protect them. They need more weapons. They need more patrols. Do you know what I mean? That's what they're going to call for because of the loss of a life. They wouldn't be calling for the changing of policies in order to free up their work, I suppose, so that they're not targeting people who aren't really criminals, because we are not criminals. We're just drug users. I'm a person who likes cannabis, and I am not a criminal. And yeah, they would never have picked up in that narrative at all. That would have been the job for Martin's World. As we do all the time. Jared Kelly says, don't jump on cannabis users' cars when you're happy to ruin their life over it. Yeah, man, I think that there's a few people out there who feel that way. Paul Lefwick is saying the Garda are too scared of looking into statements of murderers because it might be interfering with their career, and because you get in so much trouble for a smoke, that's why they hurry. And it's all messed up. Podge Donovan says 2.2 grams is the max here for 50, which is a crazy price. And I think Podge actually is maybe. I won't give away your location actually, Podge, in case you don't want to. Although you kind of did mention it before here and there, but look, we won't mention what part of the country, because you didn't mention it. Ken is saying 2.5 grams for 50 around here. And reason why most deal with the postman. Exactly, guys. You can go onto the postman, you can order from Spain, and you probably get like 4 or 5 grams sent for Spain, for probably the same 50 quid. Whereas you're dealing with like dudes here ripping you off 2.5 grams for 50 quid, man. Psh, nah, feck it, like import that stuff or grow your own. um, Paul Gray is saying 320 an ounce of organic Irish grown, strong but normal in southeast, is 2 to 3 grams for 50. Crazy. Yeah, I agree, man. Crazy for that. But 320 for an ounce is not too bad. That's not too bad. Like it's like, it's better than 350 anyway. Wooly saying that's so mad considering I'm 50 miles away. 50 quid would get me 6 or 7 grams if I phoned a pal. There you go, guys. And I believe Woolly's just on a short boat trip across to Wales, maybe over to the UK anyway, I think. But yeah, that's crazy, man. Double the amount of cannabis there for a similar price. Any story on Gino? No, not at the moment, actually. There's no story, no update on the bill. But I believe June or July is kind of what he indicated anyway for the bill going forward. Paul Gray is saying in a greenhouse, I heard a lad producing approximately 4 kilos of dried bud for about 300 quid. In a greenhouse, if you're not supplementing with lighting, I would imagine you would probably be able to produce that for far less, unless you paid 300 quid for the seeds. But definitely, like, I think you could grow it in a greenhouse. If you use autoflowers, you could be producing it for pennies. Like, whatever the seeds cost you is probably your main input, a part of maybe if you're adding amendments to your soil, increasing the organic content and feeding it and stuff like that. But if you're not using electricity, like, which is always the biggest cost of growing cannabis, because most people grow it indoors and use lights. But if you were able to grow it outdoors freely in a greenhouse, man, you would grow for pennies. Like, do you know what I mean? Literally a cent, half a cent, probably a gram. If you were good at what you were doing, because the sunshine is free, don't forget. Like, although we don't get a lot of it in the summer, if you time it right and grow autos, you will fucking do tremendously, lads. You just gotta watch out for mold, I suppose. One big issue in Ireland is mold, so you have to make sure you have the right fans set up, which again is the issue. If you have fans set up, that means you're venting out air, which is an issue for neighbours. So unless you got carbon filters, but you're never going to do that for your outdoor grow. That's indoor again, comes back to indoor. Martin James Dwyer, he says, I can grow your own bit, but how good will it be? Like, you could buy everything and not do it right. Now, guys, it's not that hard. It really isn't. Head over to Percy's Grow Room if you want to find out how to do it. But again, it's simple. Like, and honestly, the best way you can find out if you can do it is by doing it. And if you do it and fail, well, that's the best way to learn how to do it, because it's in your failures you learn what not to do, and you don't repeat the same mistake. At least you hope you don't repeat the same mistakes. So there you go, guys. Experiment. Like, seeds are cheap. Like, start with hemp seeds. You get 250 grams of them for about €3 there from any local hemp food stores. Evergreen.ie is a good online source there, coming in from Estawes. And you can practice with them. Like, simple. Like, the best way to learn is by engaging in it. Like, you can read all you want, but really until you start engaging in it, that's how you really learn. Bitcoin as Power says, it's great to see SSDP on the rise again. Yeah, man, it seems like the Cork people, man, are really flying the flag for the drug policy reform in Ireland, from what I can see anyway. No offence to anybody else in the country, but the UCC SSDP, they're Cork based, like, a bunch of activists there in Cork. Again, man, we're the rebel county. I know we got a bit of dissing there on Twitter from one person yesterday, so no, man, the rebel county is still fucking holding true to the name. Other comments coming in there. John Walshaw saying you can produce a kilo for £100 a time if you invest 350 in a setup. There you go, guys. Who doesn't want to grow a kilo of cannabis for 350 quid? Do you know what I mean? There's a dude out there who wants to charge you an ounce for it. Like, fuck that, man. Grow your own kilo for 350. Boom. um, we go on and wreck their head on legalizing cannabis. Well, guys, get on there and have your voice heard. Ask your question. I'm sure they will be asked a question about legalizing cannabis. So if you want to hear their opinion, be there on Monday night. It'll be a great event. Anyway, 6 p.m. Monday evening, guys. Don't forget UCCS SDP if you want to get the link. I'll try to share the link here as well anyway through my own social media once it's available to me. Yeah, John Finnegan is saying no link yet. They said they will send it on to me when they have it. So there you go, guys. Once you let them know that you're looking for the link, register your intent with them anyway. They'll be delighted with all the interest in the event anyway. So do get in touch with them. And follow their social media while you're at it, guys. My daughter is one of the organisers of the UCC event. Proud mom. There you go, guys. Shout out to Peace Gurgel Grillo. Apologies if I'm butchering your name there. I'm terrible, man, with all these pronunciations. But a proud mother out there whose daughter is on the committee of SSDP, and I believe your daughter is Jade. Yeah, Jade is an amazing member, and she's also the organizer of this event. So thanks very much for making me aware of that. So well done, Jade, for organizing this one. And yeah, proud mom, legend. I wish my mammy would come on here and tell me she was proud of me. Cork Driller, how long are they going to continue to harass us peaceful drug users on our daily commute? I don't know, man. As long as we allow them to do it, get out there, guys, and demand that they recognise us and stop discriminating against us. So that's how long it's going to take until we demand that they change it. Our Gardaí are more like super troopers, and that's the super troopers, the boys in the movie, yeah. No, the boys in the movie were legends, although they were kind of like made out to be like idiots, like, but man, they were legends. I don't think there's that much characters out there in the Gardaí. Certainly idiots like them though. Northern Lights coming down soon. Yes, nice one to hear that, man. And that's Jacob. More people out there should be like yourself, man, doing that very important deed and being self-sufficient in the production of your own cannabis herb. It's nothing more fulfilling than it. So I hope that is a bountiful crop, and I hope you enjoy it immensely. The hard work, like, it really does pay off afterwards when you're enjoying the fruits of your labor. Guarantee, this is imperative. I love using big words. John I says, plant hemp seeds in every ditches and crack in the ground you can find. Exactly, guys. Get it out there. Grow it everywhere. Let's overgrow this government. Let's feed us birds. Peter Westlake says, will we see loads of hemp growing all over Ireland in the summer? Well, in fairness, the farmers are doing a great job already in that. Like, there is an ever increasing amount of them, but it's not enough. But certainly us activists will be adding to the amount of our hemp and cannabis that will be popping up all over the country this coming summer. And Maddie Tot says, hope next will be shrooms. Me too, man. I would love to see a big movement of people out there fighting for the legalization of psychedelic therapies, using things like psychedelic mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, more importantly, or more specifically. But yeah, as I say, I'm kind of already engaging in that argument here, arguing for the need for just the ending of the war on drugs, the complete removal of the Misuse of Drugs Act, and opening up access to these plant medicines and mushroom medicines too, to the professionals out there. who want to work with people and help them, and really explore how we can benefit from these things more effectively too. Because the research that's been done around psychedelic therapies now, man, the findings are tremendous. Like, it's really promising, the findings from some of the research out there. The research that's been going on for like maybe 10 or 15 years, but it's been impeded time and time again by this bloody war on drugs. The war on drugs, again, like, it's never been really a war on drugs. It's a war on people. It's a war on research. It's a war on sick people. Like, it's horrible, like, that what we've done over the last 100 years with this bloody war on drugs. And imagine where we could be today, like, you know, if we were free to research cannabis over the last 100 years, if it was never deleted out of the herbal pharmacopoeias all those years ago, back in 1942, when it was removed from the herbal pharmacopoeia, along with all the information and knowledge in how to grow it, process it, harness its benefits, you know, all of that knowledge removed, deleted. They tried to make us forget, but no, sadly, they weren't able to do it. And people have the power, like, and we will overcome this, like, you know. I do have faith in the people. Um, Martin at the Wire, he says that ounce probably shit for 350. What time weed? What kind of weed is that? No man, I definitely like. Oh no, sorry, that ounce probably shit for 350. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're probably right there. Like, you know, you go home and you find out you actually bought an ounce of fucking Little Collins CBD because there's some scumbag out there buying ounces of that stuff. Even though, like, he would have only, if you bought an ounce of Little Collins CBD, and if you got the good stuff, maybe €10 a gram, he's only made 70 euro. Not much really, like. But I have heard of people out there, man, getting ripped off with an ounce of CBD buds because they're out there hitting on the stuff, like, and they're like, I'm not getting high, and my tolerance isn't that high either, like, is kind of what they were saying. And I would feel for them, like, because they handed over 400 quid for that ounce, I think. Paul Lefwick says, back in the old days, we had a plant that grew taller than the polytunnel, trunk like a fence post. Man, those outdoor plants can get really big. That's why I definitely recommend going with the auto varieties, because you can work with the shorter growing periods that we have here then as well. Pick the finer, like, maybe get a good outdoor variety that'll grow well in kind of the Holland region, like that upper region anyway. Like, don't go for one that says Ireland. Go for a bit further. Just to be sure, to be sure. But yeah, autoflowers are the way to go if you have access to a polytunnel outdoors. That would be my advice anyway, like, so you avoid the overgrown, like, because the things won't start flowering otherwise until maybe late August, September if you're lucky. Sometimes you could be looking late September, early October, like, with some varieties of plant outdoors. For Grace, it says we sell cannabis seeds and they're 20% off all products this weekend. New wedding cake and gelato seeds in stock, and that's over on Herbal Products, I believe, there for Grace. So check them out anyway, guys, if you got the time and if you're looking for some seeds. Um, oh, excellent. There's a link to the event there, guys, in the comments on Facebook for anybody who's looking for it. So I will store that one there now in my own collection, and anybody else who's looking for it, I can share it with you if you get in touch. Boom, there you go. Nice one for that to Jed's mom. And Jade is in the audience as well. How you doing, Jade, out there? Just plugging the event there anyway, as you do. Well done, guys, for organising it. Amazing stuff. And Jade's mom is proud of me too. Oh, I'm delighted. Thanks very much. Blushing here now. Probably can't tell over me light. It's too bright. So guys, just getting to the last few comments there, and I'll start signing off because I gotta go feed a few hungry mouths around the house there. But Podge Donovan is saying it was America who pushed for prohibition idea, and everyone else followed it, saying it was evil. And he says, "Look at them now." And there you go, guys. That's very true. Like, America, they were at the forefront of the running for getting cannabis illegal. Like, you know, they really did spearhead this war on drugs at the UN level, the United Nations, or back when it was called the League of Nations then at the time. Um, and now look at them. I think there's like 16, 17 states with legal cannabis now for adults, and soon to be like another two or three adding to that. I think there's New Mexico, there's Arizona. Was it Arizona? No, sorry, not Arizona. Louisiana, I think, was another one, like one of those southern states, like one of the more conservative ones, one of the more surprising ones. So really, really reflective of a changing in the tide over there in America. Like, and it's time. It's going to be only a matter of time now before there's a bill put forward at the federal level to change it, and there is one coming, and it should be accepted because of the way in which the government is made up there now. It seems that the Democrats have control, and if the Democrats stay true to what they say, it will be supported and it will pass. So it'll be amazing if cannabis then is federally decriminalized. Man, that's amazing, because Canada, America, Mexico as well to join the ranks. You have Uruguay. All of these guys are a part of the United Nations. Like, it really flies in the face of any argument that uses, oh well, the UN says it's a narcotic. Pfft, jog on, like, really, like, that's invalidated now. Like, we're seeing it all over the world now. Like, it really is becoming invalidated. Like, this stuff right here is like, it's far less dangerous than the guards out there who want to take it from you and what they will do if they catch you with it. That, I tell you now, is much more dangerous. I've experienced that myself, and it's not pleasant. It's certainly not pleasant. Cannabis is very pleasant. So bottoms up. I'll read the last one or two comments there, guys, and I will sign off then, guys. And thanks very much to everybody who has taken part in the show so far today. And again, just to remind people, like, that was a protest right there. While people might see that as a guy smoking some cannabis or hitting a bong, that was a protest. I'm publicly displaying my breaking of the law. That was me engaging on protest. So I don't have like some sort of a compulsion to smoke a load of cannabis, because sometimes in the show I can have like two or three bong hits as the show goes on. But each and every one of those is a protest, and I like to do at least one every show. Sometimes I engage in two or three. So yes, engage in those protests. I got to get the other fist up there. So final few comments, so guys, before I sign off for the evening, and I will be back tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Where we will reminisce about our marks with the guys. Adam O'Brien, he says, the best tasting bud I ever had was bubblegum, and that was in Amsterdam. Couldn't find it the next time I went. Anyone ever smoke it? I actually did have some bubblegum over in Amsterdam, and it certainly did have a very peculiar taste to it, which was almost, yeah, you could say it certainly delivered on an idea of bubblegum. It was very peculiar, all right. I haven't ever tried any locally grown stuff here actually in Ireland that was bubblegum. So I might set that on my to-do list. Hopefully I'll see if I can get one of the boys who I know that do a bit of growing. Maybe I might gift them some bubblegum seeds, but it was very nice. It certainly did have like a more like a blueberry bubblegum kind of a flavour. If there was to be a type of bubblegum that it delivered on, like the blue bubblegum, like. Yeah, bubblegum ice cream. That's the stuff. The bubblegum ice cream. That's what it tasted like actually now when I think about it. And Jade's mom is adding in here as well that the war on drugs was and always has been racist. I firmly agree with that as well. I certainly do agree with that. It was racist and it's classist. It's a way in which in America, when it was established, it was very much established for racist reasons. When it came here to Ireland then, and when it got really started building momentum, while I suppose there is a racist sentiment behind how it's applied, it very well was a classist issue here in Ireland, I suppose, more than a race issue. But I think more as Ireland has diversified more now, and as more people from outside of Ireland move into Ireland, there certainly is much more presence of a racist application of the or drug laws here in Ireland. So yeah, definitely racism is at the core of how these laws are applied. I definitely think if you were to be a black young fella above in any of the poorer areas in Dublin, you probably do get stopped and searched a bit more often than other people. But maybe I don't know, is that accurate? I don't see it in the numbers, but you certainly do see it in the numbers in America. Italy is pushing for legalization at the moment, and that's coming in from John Finnegan. Yeah, Italy's had a strong movement. They're pushing for it, and yeah, they do have a right to grow over there in some capacity. I think it's like up to 1% THC. I think that they're allowed growing in Italy, or is it maybe 0.4% THC? Somewhere in that region anyway. Like, but they do have some right to grow cannabis over there, and I believe they do have some cannabis clubs as well in Italy as well that kind of operate in a similar capacity to the ones in Spain. John Finnegan's also saying Martin take one bowl and then has to take another one to wash the first one down. And then he remembers he has a bowl pack, so it wouldn't be wrong not to smoke it. Yeah, that's very true, man. It'd be wrong not to smoke a bowl when it's packed. Yeah. And yeah, Jade's mom there was meaning specifically to the US there with the war on drugs being racist. Yeah, so if that's what you mean, yeah, you are 100% correct. But as I was alluding to, it has become more prevalent here in Ireland too. The presence of racism in how the war on drugs or the drug laws are applied. And Ken Green, getting in one of the last comments here, he says, Italy has just joined the list for me to go once this pandemic shit is over. Italy's a great place, and it's on my list of places to visit too. Shout out to my buddy Simone over there as well. We were in herbal science together, but yeah, I must get out there and visit his vineyard and, excuse me, try some of his local cannabis as well. Wine growers, I heard, can grow some good cannabis. Matty Todd, getting in the last comment there, so no more comments after this. He says it's just illegal because of the 1970s war on drugs. No, it's 1930s actually is when the kind of the war on drugs originated from. You can go back actually to earlier on. Orla Campbell, actually, a good researcher there in Prohibition, could actually say it stems from the Tempest movement in around the kind of abstinence-based approach to alcohol, very much kind of in line with a kind of I think it was delivered out of a religious-based kind of movement, and that went back to the early 1800s. This idea of abstinence and prohibition, like making stuff illegal. Um, but yeah, that's it. I'm gonna sign off there. So, guys, and guys, thanks very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for everybody for your comments. I will be back on Monday with some more 420 news, and I will be back tomorrow evening with a special show with the lads where we're going to reminisce on a great activist and drug smuggler, Howard Marks, Mr. Nice. If you haven't seen the movie, it's a good movie to watch. It's called Mr. Nice, aptly named, and he also has some books out there as well, as we talked about in the show, so check those out as well, guys. And yeah, be back here 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, guys. Monday 420, Monday evening, the UCC SSDP event at 6 p.m, guys. Don't forget about that one. So yeah, have a nice weekend, guys. Stay blazed and keep her lit. Much love and peace.